Hello and welcome to Traffic Talks. My name is Pyro and I talk about what's going on in my life, usually with a lesson I've learned, some tips and tricks you can follow that helped me, and a lot of laughs in each episode. If this sounds like something you would enjoy hearing, feel free to follow the podcast, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and to see what I'm up to, you can check out my Instagram page linked below. Bye! Hello and welcome back to Traffic Talks. I hope you are doing well. As you can see, the name of this episode is Tools for Tasks. Yes, I have a thing for the alliteration and the little rhymingness of things, and I thought that would just be a very clever name when I was making my notes for this episode. And this episode is basically an in-between episode. So last week I covered how I'm trying to live more intentionally, and next week I'm going to give you a goal update. So in between those two is this episode, and it's the bridge, you can say, between the two, because having the intent is good, but you need to execute on it, and that's where the goals come in. So I have been trying to live intentionally, but if you don't put it into practice and actually work with it, it's gonna get you nowhere. It's like getting into a car. You're like, I'm going to drive to where I need to go, and you climb into the car and you sit. It's like, okay, cool, you're in the car, but you didn't start it, you didn't pack a bag, you didn't set up the GPS, you've got no clue what the weather's like. So, you're gonna be ill prepared. And that was kind of this episode, doing what you need to do in order to get where you need to go. So next week will be the goal update. I'll tell you where I need to go in that episode. And we spoke about intentional living last week, so I'm not going to go back into that. I'm going to stay right here. And the tools for the tasks I'm referring to is the basic things I think people overlook when it comes to tackling goals. I did mention this at the beginning of the year, where one of my key things to do is always reflect. I am very big on reflection. I have a monthly reflection section in my bullet journal, and I don't know why I said that with a question mark. Allow me to rephrase. I have a weekly spread in my bullet journal, and at the end of each month I have a monthly summary, which is basically just a way of reminding myself what I enjoyed most about the month that has passed, and also a monthly reflection section where I ask my usual 3 questions like, what did I achieve, what could I improve on, or what do I want to stop doing that I didn't like that I did this month. And those are things that we generally don't think about all the time for other situations. For example, if you are trying to get healthy and you start a new workout routine, but you hate it. At the end of a week, reflect on it. At the end of the month, reflect on it. If it's a 6-week program or something, reflect on it. Did I like this workout? What didn't I like about this workout? Was there certain things that were just too hard for me to do? Were there things that I felt were too easy? Was there specialized equipment, meaning I had to go to a gym in order to do this? Analyze it as a whole so that you can see the big picture of it. And that's kind of what I like to do when I reflect. I like to look at the good and the bad. And personally, I like to check my emotional state. I have had an emotional roller coaster this past week, and the weather has not helped. But I will speak about that in a few weeks. Just life will be life. Things will happen you can't predict, that you can't truly plan for, but you have to keep just going. And that's the thing. Having these tools ready is going to make your life so much easier. And this is why I'm the kind of person who asks the people I live with, what do you think of this? Or I'll discuss things with them. As you know, I always mentioned, I spoke to my brother or my sister or my mother about something. And they do have their moments, but there are always little nuggets that I can always pick up of just the most amazing wisdom. And I was speaking to my brother last week, and he said something. He's like, no. I know you. You're going to do this for a month and then you're going to fall off the wagon. And I'm just like, when you're right, you're right. There are certain things where I can be like, I'm going to do this. Like with this podcast, for example. Sometimes I might upload late. It may not be my best work, but it's done. I crawled over the finish line. And then other days, it's already been uploaded like 4 days in advance, and I'm very proud of myself. So it's an ebb and a flow, but my goal was to upload once a week, and I do upload once a week. So I've been sticking to that, and that's made me very happy and very proud of myself, which is another thing people don't do enough, but that's for another day. The thing is, I think I know myself, but others may know something else about me that I don't realize. Like my brother telling me, you're not going to stick to doing that particular thing to keep it up consistently. And I have to concede the point. He's right. He's seen it happen multiple times and I haven't changed. So what can I do about it? And this is once again where those tools come in. Something like simple prep can make your life so much easier. Having the right tools can make things easier. Planning can make things easier. But one thing I will emphasize is you need to do the work, not just prep it. So for me, my meals have been my biggest gripe. I don't hate cooking. I will say I actually do like cooking, but I don't like cooking major meals. I'm more of a making breakfast from leftovers kind of a person, and I actually made muffins from stuff we just had at home. Banana muffins. They came out really, really good. I actually made 2 batches. But for me, meal prepping is not always a fun thing to do because I'm just iffy when it comes to things like my food. I don't like preparing it too much in advance. And also I'm kind of, I eat what I feel like when I feel like. So some days I'll be up early and have jungle oats. Other days I'll only eat at like 10, maybe 11, maybe even 12. Just because that's what I feel like. That's what my body's telling me I want and I need. And having things prepped and ready to go that I can just throw in a pan, just heat up, just quickly do the meal has always been awesome. But the prep of getting it to that stage is kind of what annoys me, because now I have to stand and chop stuff just to put it in a bowl to cook later or tomorrow. And then maybe I'm just like, you know what, I don't even feel like this. And then it stays an extra day in the fridge. And then by the time I need it, it's soft. And that's not the way some things need to be. Some stuff need to be fresh and crisp. The easiest example I can think of is onion. So my brother and I generally share an onion, or like a third of an onion when we cook, depending on the size. So he'll be in the kitchen, he'll cut a piece off, put the rest in the little onion saver we have, and then I'll come along and then chop up a piece for myself. And that works fine because it stays fresh and crisp. But if I had to prep and chop that onion in advance, it wouldn't be the same crispiness and plumpness of the onion when you like just freshly cut it. And that's the thing with a lot of foods. Some of them are just easily able to be prepared. Like I know people cut and peel carrots and store them in water in mason jars in their fridge. And I'm just like, cool, that's a you thing. That doesn't seem like the end of the world. They do that for celery and carrots. And I'm just like, that sounds fine. That sounds fair. But if it's something that is best when you don't cut on it like an onion so it doesn't dry out, then I'm sorry, you're just gonna need to spend a bit of time chopping it fresh, and that's kind of my problem. So I like to prep, but sometimes the prep work gets a bit too much, and that's where my brother's like, you're not gonna be able to keep up with doing this every single week. It's gonna annoy you, you're gonna fall off the wagon, you're just not gonna keep it up. And I'm just like, you are right. So to me, I'd rather make the process as seamless and as smooth as possible. And I don't mind chopping things when I need them. I just need to make sure my timing is right. And this is where some of the other things come in, like managing your time and planning properly. So I work from home, I have my lunch, I'm good. I usually get up before I start work and then have just my lunch hour and then I eat after work. Or if it's quiet, I'll just grab a snack and then come back to my desk and eat and work, which I know not the healthiest of habits, but there are some days that are just chaotic and I can't move, but I do try. And that is what I feel I do best. Like I get into the zone and I hit a state of flow and I just keep flowing with it. And that's kind of what needs to happen with you and your life and how you do things. And especially coming up for all the Cape Townians listening to this change of seasons we are experiencing. It came hard and fast. Winter has arrived. I hate it. Everything is cold. Everything is damp. Everything is grey. And it's not my favorite season of the year, but it is what it is, and we just keep going, which is why I actually put in my notes that this is kind of like a winter edition for my goals, because I need to reschedule my entire life to kind of like daylight hours, just because I don't like getting up early in the cold. I hate it. Summer, it's fine, it's hot, it's warm, the sun is out, you can have a nice view. Winter, it's just bleh. So I don't like that. And I've decided to kind of re-routine my life, if I can put it that way, just so that I can do the bulk of the things I need after work when there's still a bit of sunlight, when there's still a bit of warmth and natural heat before the sun kind of goes down and makes everything cold again. And getting up early, I can do things that don't require me to change clothes. So I don't gym in the morning. I would rather gym the afternoon. And by gym, I mean exercise at home. I don't go to the gym anymore. But those are just simple things you have to now rethink. Because unless you are in the habit of doing it, it's not going to be easy to get into that routine for winter. And I know myself, I don't do well in the cold. So I've had to figure things out and definitely try and work around these new norms, especially for the next 3 months, because this winter I have a feeling is going to be very cold and very tough, and I'm not sure if I'm ready, but it's coming regardless, so I'll just have to push through. After that long rant, the point I'm hopefully eventually going to make is that you need the right tools to get your tasks done. And by that, something simple and small that may seem dumb to others can actually be something very, very vital. So, case in point, I've had this dry erase board on my wall for literal years, and for the last 5 months, it's had my 12 areas of life on it. My sister borrowed my old dry erase cookie thing, and she ended up accidentally ruining it and decided to go buy a new one for herself, for her own dry erase board, and she bought me one as well. This was about 3 weeks ago. Since then, I have been writing on the board my tasks that I need to get done. I've been crossing things out. I've been making new lists every week. I have the right tool to get my tasks done. That is it. The thing costs like 11 Rand for this dry erase marker, and it has made such a big difference. I am on a roll, and I cannot believe it was something that simple that I didn't even think to buy for myself, but yet it's made such a big difference. And that is just one small thing. I know that there are probably bigger things that I can do and buy that'll make things easier. And sometimes it's just about rearranging things to help smooth the process out. Making sure you have the right tools to get your tasks done is essential. And I think also clearing your environment in order to provide the right space to get your tasks done is going to be another factor. For me, that is making sure I have space on my desk for all that I need. So as I'm speaking to you now, I have my laptop in front of me, my microphone in my hand, and my phone recording all of this going on, and I need enough space for all of that. I've got my water off to the side and my little diary and notebook and bullet journal to my left. These all take up space, and if the area is not clear, my mind is cluttered because of the visual clutter, and that throws everything out. And it does make a difference to even just take 5 minutes, play a song, and just clean up what you can. And if you do that every day, you'll see a massive difference. I did that on Sunday. I think it was either Saturday or Sunday where I just packed away some things I had been meaning to do, moving things to the right folders, making space on my desk by getting rid of some of the old stuff that I don't use every day, and allocating a new space for that so when I do need it once a week, I know exactly where to reach for it. And that has made such a huge difference to the emotions I feel, because I don't feel overwhelmed by the clutter that I had. And it wasn't even clutter, it was just 3 books and putting it back into its place. It was that nagging piece of paper for that one task that I needed to do that just never got done, and just making 5 minutes to do it just relieves so much unnecessary stress and pressure. And finding a routine that helps support these habits is going to be the best thing going forward. Especially for myself, I am a huge creature of habit. I like habits and routines, and having to rework everything for winter is going to be a fun challenge. I like puzzles, and I think this is going to be a really good one for me to try and solve. So yeah, that is my 2 cents. I hope this episode isn't too long, and I also hope that it did help. Maybe it sparked something, maybe it gives you an idea of what to do. Yeah, I hope you did actually find something to take away, because if I can just sum it up in a sentence, which would save us all the almost 20 minutes we've got going here, is look back on yesterday and what you did, and do better today and do even better tomorrow, because we don't oftentimes reflect hard enough, because we're either too busy mourning the past or stressing about the future and trying to push both of those sides away to live in the present, that we kind of just get overwhelmed by this trifecta of timelines that we are trying to sustain. So do it. Take 2 minutes to just think, what did I do yesterday? What could I do better today? And what can I prep better for tomorrow? And that's it. That's it from me. The song of the week is... This song came to me, I don't know why, but I'm gonna say it. Dig a Little Deeper by the Cheetah Girls. It's a Disney song classic. If you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it. I think it's the Cheetah Girls 2 in particular. I could be wrong, but yeah, I think it is that one. It's a really good movie. It's a really old movie, but yeah, it's a good song. I think it does kind of just reflect this entire episode. I'm done. I'm leaving it there. Keep being a better being. I apologize that it's so long, and I will see you in next week's long 3-month update goal episode. Love you. Bye.